Oh, guys, it's Chookman here once again. Listen, I'm really passionate with this. All I'm trying to get across to the government is let us people in general have our say. You know, you can't take our speech away from us. We're entitled to say what we got on our mind. We're not entitled to threaten anyone or bash anyone or do anything wrong like that. That's not on. What I'm saying is these people, these are doing the wrong thing. Punish them. Do the right thing, to society and punish those people. Do you know what I mean? There's only so much us people will take before we start boiling like kettles. I'm a victim of a crime. I can't go into it, and enough's enough. I was lucky I didn't die, put it that way. I was touch and go. But that was through someone coming into my place, breaking into my house, and he wasn't here, I'm telling you now, he wasn't here for a cup of tea and a scone. He was to rob me, bash me, kill me, whatever. But unfortunately for him, I survived. Now, I'm not bragging about it, but enough's enough. And you can only build your fences so high and put so many gates and put signs, keep out. You know, there's only so much you can do before you've had enough, Let's go back for the peaceful day. Back in the 70s, every parent knew everyone's child. Don't ask me how they knew, but that's how it was back in the 70s. I could walk around to the local milk bar and everyone would say, oh, I know your foster parents. Every parent knew everyone's child and everyone's child knew everyone's parent. So you couldn't get away with black murder anyway back then, because whether you knew it or not, you were being watched, and you learnt morals and respect. If it wasn't yours, you didn't touch it, and if it is, and if you want something bad enough, ask the person, and they'll probably give it to you. You don't have to steal off people, or bash people. The last couple of years, it's getting worse. There's a lot of people coming into Australia. They've got no money. They've got a sad story. They don't know how to behave in their country, so they come to our country and they say, well, I don't know how to behave. Well, learn. It's not hard. Go and take up a hobby. Go do boxing. Go do karate. Get a hobby. Get some sort of interest. I did. Instead of being a bum on the street pissed all the time, I went and got a hobby. Because if I didn't do the hobby I do now, I'd be still in the pub talking shit. But then again, you can only drink for so long until your body shuts down, and then you're finished. You treat your body like a tip. Eventually, it's gonna. It's like a car that's rusting out. If you let that car sit there with rust, eventually it's just going to crumble into little bits and there'll be no more cars. That's the same as our bodies. We start tipping alcohol down our throat and smoking like there's no tomorrow. Our body packs it in. We've got no one to blame for that except ourselves. We're the ones that stick in alcohol and cigarettes and not looking after our body. You want to live a long life. Look after your body. It's not rocket science. Eat the correct foods. People say, oh, it's all to do with exercise. Yes, it is to do with exercise, but it is to do with your diet. You've got to put the right foods in your body for it to get a good outcome. If you're eating rubbish and doing exercise, that ain't going to work, Charlie Brown. Sorry. You just got to, when it comes to your body and you want to live a long time, eat the correct foods. Don't smoke cigarettes. Don't drink alcohol. Look after yourself. If you don't look after yourself, no one else will. Anyway, getting back to this crime stuff that's happening in Melbourne, it's shameful. You turn the radio on and you hear about, another person was bashed, another person was robbed. You can't take freedom of speech away from us. We're entitled to talk to our neighbours and say, oh, did you hear about such and such? rules and regulations. You know, you can't take freedom of speech away from us. You know, we're not going to be statues. You know, the three wise monkeys: see no evil, speak no evil, and hear no evil. You know, if we don't stand up together as one, we're going to get stood on, and that's not what we're about. We're about us Australians. You know, our diggers went to our war for us, not for us to stand there like muppets and don't do anything back. You know, private property, keep out. Doesn't give anyone the rights to go into anyone's house. That's what I'm getting at. And to go into someone's house, you know, and rob them and put them in hospital or kill them or whatever you do to them, you know, that's not on either. They take the law into their own hands. They don't just stand at your front door and go, oh, guys, before you rob this house, these are rules and regulations we can and can't do. They just come in and do what they want to do anyway. They don't care about rules and regulations and politically correct and all that before they come in and rob you. They just do it. You know? They don't care about jail. They don't care about punishment. You know? And then you just try to punish the wrong people by taking our freedom of speech. Not allowed to do this and not allowed to say that. Well, what? Come on. We're not a communist country, guys. This is where we all get together and we talk like human beings and talk civil to one another and try to work out how we're going to deal with this problem of people breaking in. How we're going to teach these thugs. Because that's what they are. They're thugs. They got no morals. They've got no respect. I want. Well, you'll get what you want, all right? You'll go into the wrong house one day and it'll be the end of it. That's what's going to happen. But politically correct, you're not allowed to say that. Well, it's true, you know? And we shouldn't have to put up with that. We should be able to leave our front. We shouldn't have to build big fences and locks on everything, you know? We're not living in the cave days, you know? We're living in 26, and it's supposed to be a better world. A better year, sorry. Already there's been bashings and robbings, and it's only the first month of the new year. We haven't started off too good, you know? And I haven't got the answers for everything, guys. I just see what's going on and I hear what's going on and I just shake my head, you know? But you've got to be politically correct these days or otherwise you'll get locked up or you'll get sued because you've said something and people have taken you the wrong way, you know? We're not the enemy here. We're just trying to stand up for our rights and tell people what we think about the situation. It should have never happened in the first place, you know? Enough's enough. Alright guys, that's the Chook Man babbling on about freedom of speech and our rights. You know, our diggers went to war for our freedom. And you're going to take that freedom of speech away? I don't know. I don't know what the world's coming to, seriously. You know, but we can't turn into a communist country. That's not what we're all about. You know, Saturdays, you look in the 70s, Saturdays was mow your lawn, have a barbecue, go speak to your neighbours, go swimming down the swimming pools, go to the movies, have fun, muck around in the streets, ride your Malvern Star push bike around the streets and have fun. Your parents would interact with other parents and they'd have barbecues and outings and happy days. But now, all that stuff's gone. You know, Christmas Day, you used to see kids in the street, you know, riding up and down the street yelling because they were happy they've got new push bikes and they've got new presents. You hardly see that now, you know, and that's a tradition that we're losing, you know. The world's turning into an ugly place and it really doesn't have to, you know. When I was 13, I went out and got a job working in a fruit shop, stacking fruit and sweeping the floors for $3 a day. It didn't hurt me. It just taught me respect. You know, you want money, you go and earn it. Like I did, 13-year-old. Went around to the local a fruit and veggie shop and asked him, have you got any work for me, mate? He goes, yeah, I got work for you. You can sweep the floor, you can stack my fruit, you can get all the boxes, stack them up the back and keep my shop clean. And I got back $3 a day. Better than a kick in the pants, I reckon. But guys, you can't sit on your ass and expect everything to be handed to you. You've got to go out there and work for it.